In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, who is exceedingly kind and most compassionate. In this universe, created by Hazel, many kings appeared, who tried to alter the system of Allah the Exalted. They abandoned their belief in Allah the Exalted and proclaimed themselves as gods, making false claims to divinity. Among those arrogant kings who falsely claimed divinity, there was one to whom Allah the Exalted had granted sovereignty over the entire face of the earth. Despite this, not only did this king make a false claim to divinity, he became so rebellious and disobedient that he challenged Allah the Exalted to battle, God forbid, even telling Allah the Exalted to come and fight him. My dear friends, in today's video we will tell you who that wretched king named Nimrod was, the one who challenged Allah the Exalted to battle. And when that evil king challenged Allah the Exalted to fight, which insignificant creature did Allah the Exalted use to fight him, ultimately destroying him and turning him into a warning for all the world? Dear friends, to listen to this instructive and faith-inspiring incident from the Holy Quran, we request that you watch this video to the end. 4 kings who ruled the world. Dear friends, in the history of this world, 4 kings have passed who were granted dominion over the entire face of the earth by Allah the Exalted. Among them, 2 were Muslims, and 2 were disbelievers. The Muslim kings were Prophet Dhul Qarnayn, peace be upon him, and Prophet Sulaiman, peace be upon him, to both of whom Allah the Exalted granted prophethood. Among the disbelieving kings, one was named Nimrod, and the other was named Bukht-Nasr, Nebuchadnezzar. Nimrod, the false god. Dear friends, the king who falsely claimed divinity was Nimrod, the ruler of the city of Babylon. His name was Nimrod bin Canaan bin Kos bin Saham bin Nuh, Noah. According to tradition, Allah the Exalted granted Nimrod authority over the entire earth, and he ruled over it for 400 years. He was a tyrannical and oppressive king. Idol worship was rampant during his reign. People abandoned the oneness of Allah the Exalted and worshipped idols. They also worshipped Nimrod himself, considering him their god and performing acts of devotion to him. During Nimrod's era, idol worship was so widespread that all the Nimrodi people had made numerous idols they worshipped as their gods. Alongside these idols, Nimrod insisted that people regard him as a god as well, commanding them to worship him. To guide this misguided nation, Allah the Exalted sent his beloved prophet Ibraheem, peace be upon him. In that era of disbelief, polytheism, and idolatry, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was the only person who believed in the oneness of Allah the Exalted and worshipped him rather than idols. Prophet Ibrahim's call to Tawheed, oneness. When Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, saw his people abandoning belief in Allah the Exalted and worshipping idols, he invited them to accept guidance. He called them to leave idol worship and instead worship Allah the Exalted. Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, said to his people that Allah the Exalted is one and that we must worship him alone. But Nimrod's people did not abandon their disbelief and polytheism. They continued to worship idols. One day, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, resolved to expose the falsehood of these so-called gods right before his people. He went to the place where all of their idols were kept, those very idols that his people worshipped. Upon arriving at the idol temple, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, found many large idols. He broke them all, then placed the blame for smashing the idols on the biggest idol among them. Afterward, when all the Nimrodi people returned to their idol temple, they saw that their idols were broken. They knew perfectly well that the only person among them who spoke against idol worship and who commanded people to worship Allah the Exalted instead was Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. So, when they found their gods destroyed, they realized this was the work of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. They decided to take revenge on him by conspiring to kill him. All the Nimrodi people presented themselves before Nimrod's court and told him the entire story, asking him to punish Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. When Nimrod heard this, he was furious and ordered a great fire to be lit in a certain place so that Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, could be thrown into it. According to Nimrod's command, wood was collected from far and wide, piled in a vast field, and set ablaze to punish Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. The flames rose so high that they seemed to touch the sky. Prophet Ibrahim and the fire, dear friends, when the fire was lit in that vast field on Nimrod's orders, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was then thrown into it. But as soon as he entered the fire, Allah the Exalted commanded the flames, "O fire, be cool and safe for Ibrahim." Immediately, the fire turned cool and safe for Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. He later said that throughout the days he was in the fire, he was under the special grace and mercy of Allah the Exalted, and he experienced a peace there that he had never felt before. After some time, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, emerged from the fire unharmed. Seeing this astonishing sight, all the Nimrodi people were left in shock. Yet, despite this miracle, neither Nimrod nor his people embraced faith in the oneness of Allah the Exalted. They persisted in their idol worship. Still, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, remained steadfast in his mission and continued calling his people to the truth. He repeatedly advised Nimrod to abandon disbelief and polytheism and to accept faith in the oneness of Allah the Exalted. However, Nimrod flatly rejected the oneness of Allah the Exalted and began to argue with Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. During this debate, Nimrod claimed divinity before Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. Nimrod asked him, "Who is your Lord?" Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, replied, "My Lord is the one who gives life and causes death." Hearing this, Nimrod smirked and said, "I can do that too." Thereupon he arrogantly summoned 2 prisoners who were both sentenced to death. Nimrod killed one and set the other free. Then, with haughty pride, he said to Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, "See, I have granted one life and taken the other." In this way, Nimrod presented his false arguments of divinity to Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. He again asked, "I am the true God, so tell me, who is your God?" Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, answered him, using logic Nimrod could understand. "My Lord is the one who causes the sun to rise in the east and set in the west. If you are truly a god, then make the sun rise in the west." Hearing this, Nimrod turned pale and was left speechless, humiliated before his entire people. Even after all this, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, continued to call Nimrod to believe in the oneness of Allah the Exalted many times, but Nimrod remained obstinate and continued in his disbelief. Eventually, exasperated by Prophet Ibrahim's, peace be upon him, repeated calls to faith, Nimrod said, "If your God is real, tell him to send his army to fight me." As soon as Nimrod uttered this nonsense in front of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, the angel Gabriel, peace be upon him, appeared before Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, and said, "Allah the Exalted's army is prepared for battle." Hearing this, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, informed Nimrod that Allah the Exalted's forces were ready. Nimrod, brimming with arrogance, then asked for 3 days' respite to prepare for war. So, 3 days were granted to him. Dear friends, because Nimrod's rule extended over the entire world, in those 3 days he gathered all the greatest warriors from every corner of the earth and amassed a vast arsenal of weaponry for battle. After completing all his preparations within that time, Nimrod boasted to Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, "My army is ready for war. Tell your Lord to send his forces to fight us." When Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, prayed in the court of Allah the Exalted, Allah sent forth an army of mosquitoes. Their numbers were so immense that they filled the sky. At Allah's command, these mosquitoes attacked Nimrod's army. In the blink of an eye, they devoured the flesh of Nimrod's soldiers and drank their blood, leaving only bones behind. Witnessing this horrifying scene, Nimrod fled toward his palace and hid in his wife's quarters. But during this time, by Allah's command, a single lame mosquito entered Nimrod's home. Seeing it, Nimrod said to his wife, "That is the creature that has destroyed our army." In the midst of this conversation, by Allah's command, the lame mosquito flew into Nimrod's nostril and made its way to his brain, gnawing at it. This caused Nimrod such severe agony that he began to bang his head against the walls. Under the decree of Allah the Exalted, that mosquito remained inside Nimrod's skull for many days. Nimrod issued an order in his palace that anyone entering must strike him on the head with their shoes. After being struck, he would feel a bit of relief, but shortly thereafter the pain would return. In this way, Allah the Exalted punished Nimrod by means of a lowly, lame mosquito. He kept beating his head with sticks and shoes until finally, Allah the Exalted caused him to die a painful death, as he bashed his head against the walls. Thus, Nimrod, the king who ruled over the entire world, who had the audacity to challenge Allah the Exalted to battle, was destroyed by a lowly, lame mosquito. Allah the Exalted made him a sign and a warning for the entire world. Indeed, Allah the Exalted has power over all things.